Dogs and Opera. I'm your co-host, Michael Pegger.
Jesus.
And, no.
3 episodes in and you're stealing the show,
Dude,
man.
three episodes, and it shows because we needed 3 goddamn takes at the beginning of this today.
We just can't get with it.
Sunday morning.
This is the earliest podcast we've ever done. It is, I guess it's 9:45, but it takes like an hour to set up for this thing. You'd be surprised.
Christ, and it was a long night last night of enjoying nature and all of her beauty with beer.
I'm telling you, 1st of May is a huge holiday in Germany, and I guess it's, I guess you'd call it Labor Day in English, right?
That's right, and actually, I forgot when Labor Day was in America, so I posted on Facebook saying, for Labor Day, and everybody's, all my American friends are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Is it a different holiday or a different day?
Yeah, it's in September.
Because see, like Father's Day is the same, Mother's Day is different. That one always freaks me out. Daylight saving time, also different, right? So all your Facebook friends are like, don't forget to set your clocks back.
Right, that's true.
Not you. 1st of May, though, in Germany is a day everybody has free. Huge thing. I, for the last 4 or 5 years, go north to a city I used to live in and go to a big party.
Did you go this year? Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's why you were up there.
Yeah, you start drinking 9 in the morning and you finish around 5 a.m.
Speaking of which, should we introduce a beer?
Well, that's what I was getting to, is that like that happened on Tuesday and I'm still hungover, man.
Dude, I'm fucked up too.
And Mike and I, we'll get to it. Okay, so I'll do my beer first.
No. I've got the breakfast beer. I've got a breakfast beer, dude.
Okay.
We're going yours second.
All right, man.
Mine is a boring beer. It's boring. Going Guinness.
God damn.
Guinness, dude.
Guinness. You got
Look,
the ball in there? You got the cans?
Of course, you got the... Can you hear that?
Jesus.
It's like, oh my God, I just shook this can. I just shook that can so
Okay.
everybody could
Well,
hear it.
let's crack it open.
Oh, hold on. I gotta make sure that I'm not gonna...
Okay, so, jeez, Mike's making a fucking mess at 9 a.m. in the morning. Look, my beer comes from Switzerland. I'll bust it out later. But I was driving around, and I somehow managed to kind of randomly organize myself a small audition tour, right? And the first stop, I'm not saying the cities because then it'll be clear what happened where, but I was in about 3 or 4 different cities in Switzerland. And
I'm excited. I asked him how this went, and he said, you got to wait for the podcast.
It's fucked up. I have to save the stories now, so then they're all fucking old and dusty by the time I crack them
but
out.
not for us. Not for your audience.
I do want to say, though, it was the first audition tour I did with a car, because I bought a car recently. And when you audition, Mike, I think you usually take the car, right?
That's right, yeah.
I usually take the train, and I'm carrying my suit and shit, and I'm walking from the train station to the hotel. Car was so much better, except for the fact that in Switzerland, they do not want you to park in their fucking cities. Have you ever driven in Switzerland before?
No,
The amount of money it costs to park in the city or in a parking garage, and you're usually limited to 30 minutes. It's fucked up. But I had an audition out there, and I got fucked. And I want to tell the story.
So this is how we're starting it off with the story.
Gather
I'm
around,
here.
kids. So I go to the audition, and there was 5 or 6 people there. And normal audition thing, you meet with the pianist, you rehearse, right? The first piece I rehearsed with him was a standard piece, right? And I love pianists, okay? Bless their hearts, but this man was fucking every note, right? Just fucking it up. And I've never had someone say this before. He fucked it up so much that I swear to God, I thought he was having a stroke. That's not a joke. That he was old enough where I was like, holy shit.
Holy shit, are you okay?
And I stopped
dude?
singing. I said, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry. So we go again. So bad, I ask him again. He says, listen. I'm sorry I'm so bad. Right?
No.
A professional pianist looked me in the eye and said, es tut mir leid, dass ich so schlecht bin. Right? He just said, I'm sorry that I'm so bad.
Wow.
He said something like that.
Holy shit.
It was Swiss Deutsch, so it's hard, to understand those people. So that put me in a good place, right?
I suppose.
That put me in a confident place to walk on that stage and know it was going to do well.
I mean, if he admits it, you can even go out on the stage and say, hey, look, he
Look,
sucks.
This
and
guy's
going
to be dragging me down. I've always thought about just pulling out a Bluetooth speaker and just being like, look, I'm just going to go with the recording on this one. Anyways.
The technology's there. Why not? That's another thing. You're innovating, dude. That's the way to do
All right,
it.
fuck him. So I get on the stage, right? And we're going through the piece, and I was singing the from Fidelio Pizarro's audio, right? I get to the last page, and the last page is just, ist mine, 3 times you're out, right? This pianist turns the music so hard, it rips out of my binder, and it goes into the air, right? I swear to God. And the piano was at the end of the stage, and the music was just floating above the pit, like perfectly coming down, like inch by inch, right?
Christ.
So he tried to improvise for a good 5 seconds, which you can't fucking do with Beethoven. So then I was
Already a pianist who sucks, and he's
Right.
trying to improvise.
did not work.
Beethoven.
So I start singing a cappella, right? And then he goes, no, and starts yelling because the music's going down into the pit, and he's trying to catch it, risking his life. So, of course, I stop, right?
I want this guy to be on the podcast.
Yeah, bring him on. And so then I say to the people in the audience, I'm like, yeah, you get the idea, right?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, what would you say? What would you say in that situation, man? I said, you get the idea.
You know what's supposed to happen.
Well, because the end of the aria is just like the same thing repeated over and over and over again, right? And so I was like, I was waiting for them to like be like, all right, sing something else. And they're like, we want to hear the end, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah. And so it's one of those opera houses where they're up in like, there's like 3 guys sitting up in the 3rd tier, like 200 meters away, right?
And then you're like, go down in the pit and get the music then.
So the pianist goes off stage, down, finds his way to the pit, and I hear him scrummaging around down there with his like phone camera, like
Oh
looking
my
for the
God.
thing. And the whole time, you can't make small talk because the people are 200 meters away or whatever.
Dude, you know what though?
Would you chat him up?
I absolutely chat him up. Every
Really?
goddamn
You'd be like, how about that weather today, huh?
I have brought up the weather.
Oh, my
Dude,
God.
and they look, the thing is I don't know. Maybe you have different experience than I do, but I find most of the time they don't want to just sit there and be all grimacy the whole time. They don't mind having a
I mean,
conversation.
I do when I come in, but in that situation when the pianist is like fumbling in the pit for the fucking music, I tend to not be like, so, you guys watching the soccer stuff? I mean,
I can't believe Game of Thrones is coming out a whole year later.
So he brings the paper back up, right? And I do the last 8 seconds, and then they're like, vielen Dank, which is like, you didn't fucking get it. you know?
Right.
We're talking about failure today, all right? So I thought I'd start off with the failure
is
story.
Man, how do you have all these interesting audition stories and I don't?
It is a curse, dude. I get asked this question all the time, like, why does so much fucked up stuff happen? Don't fucking play with the wires, man.
Sorry, dude.
Anyway, I stole your thunder. May 1st, I'm still hungover, so I'm having trouble drinking this beer. Have you had a sip yet?
Yeah, I'm drinking.
Okay, I'm gonna get into it. Mike had a much more wholesome May 1st than I did.
I don't know. Wow. Yeah.
He
I
did
guess
some
so.
real work. Tell him what you got for your birthday,
All
man.
right, dude,
Mike
I'll
had a
tell
birthday.
I'll tell you what I got for my birthday. So, my birthday's April 24th. In case you guys want to send some presents my way, And what did we do? Oh yeah. So,
Tell him what your gift was,
yeah, I'm
man.
about it. I'm on it, dude. In Germany, they have these clubs of gardens. It sounds weird, but they parcel out a huge bit of land, and there are like maybe 50 or 100 gardens on each thing. And each garden has a tiny little house, and in the house, you've got like a little kitchen with a propane stove and everything like that. And we bought one. We bought one recently, and it's amazing. It's a tiny little paradise, right? Well, when you buy one, you got to get all this stuff in there. You want to make it your little home away from home. And on Labor Day, I found on eBay Kleinanzeiger, what do you say? eBay Classifieds.
They would use Craigslist in the States.
Right, Craigslist, that sort of thing. I found a sleeper sofa, and I go there with the family on Labor Day. And we open up the back of our big. We got this. It's in the States. They don't have this brand. It's called Citroën, right? It's a French brand, and it's kind of like a minivan, but a little smaller. You open up the back. We opened up the back, and we tried to put this. Sofa in, and it just was not going in, no matter which way you stuffed it. Which that's what she said.
Which is a problem Mike's not used to having.
Right. No. Okay. Thank you. Anyway. So I'm looking at it, and they're like, well, maybe we come back a different time. And I'm like, fuck that. I want this sofa in that garden now. So I eyed it up from the left. I eyed it up from the right. And I said, all right, Dodo. Dodo's my wife's name. I said, you take the kids, and you go head to the garden. We had this little trolley thing. And I put the trolley under the one end. I picked that shit up with these tiny little muscles of mine, and I walked it the whole 2.5 kilometers to our thing. And people are driving by. Kids were making fun of me. They're like, "What a fucking loser!" And I can't disagree with them. I don't have the money to get a bigger car or anything like that, so I'm just, taking advantage of Labor Day and doing some labor.
I gotta say, before Mike got this garden, these little gardens, they're called in German. I thought they were nerdy as shit. Okay,
They
I'm just gonna
are.
be honest. Because you see them from the train when you come to a city. Before you get into the city, there's always a little area with these gardens, and I was always like, "What type of fucking doofus is sitting out there in that garden?" Mike is that doofus. He bought the garden, and I have to say, I fucking love it.
Honestly,
that
we were
place
there
is
yesterday.
amazing, man. We were there last night till late. I was there last weekend. I take back every bad thought I had about these gardens. They're fucking amazing.
Dude, they are amazing.
You're away from the city because Frankfurt, man, is loud as shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little quieter out here, especially in the basement down here. We're back in the
Back in the
basement.
basement, by the way. I like the basement.
You know what? It's growing on me. It's growing on me, man. I like the
Excuse
basement
me.
too.
Dude, this is going to be a tough one. I'm fucking hungover
You
from
gotta
this
finish that beer, dude.
Kleingarten, From this
Yeah, we were
Kleingarten.
drinking till like 12 or 1 last night, and we're getting too old for this shit. Man, I don't know. I'm a bit turned off to the opera business at the moment. I got to tell you.
Yeah,
I'm a bit
I
limp
know what
over
you mean.
here.
I
You
know
know?
what you mean.
I'm pulling taffy over here.
Pulling taffy, what the fuck?
I'm pushing rope, man.
Pushing rope. I've heard that one, but pulling taffy, that's a new one.
Have you heard tucking slugs?
Tucking slugs. That is gross, dude.
I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry.
perfect.
Stay tuned. It's
If
not,
you got more,
No.
just wait. Just space them out. If you think of another one during the thing,
I got a
then
lot, but
bust it out. All right.
Anyway,
so the theme today is rejection, and that's how my body feels right now. Is just fucking rejected, and that's how my soul feels right now. Is just fucking rejected. Look, it doesn't matter how. By the way, that's my that seems to be my what's it called? My little phrase. I listened to the last podcast and I say, "Look, man.
I know
look,
you
look,
learn all
look,
this shit
look,
you say.
Look,
we
you
both
get
say look a lot,
embarrassed. You get embarrassed by this.
but we
shit
have to
that
say
you
look
do.
because we still can't look each other in the eye when we're recording this shit. Nothing's changed, you know. We're literally telling each other to look at us.
Anyway, look, Jared. Look.
Okay, I'm looking at you.
The fuck, we're fucking stuff up here. No rejection. It doesn't matter how good you get, how many shows you do. You're still if you're going on auditions, you're still gonna have some bad fucking days. And I'll tell you a story. I did I don't have any really interesting audition stories like Jared does, but I have some failures that I can bring to the table today. The last audition I did was one of these typical situations. I woke up a couple days beforehand and I felt that little tickle. Felt that little tickle at the back of my throat.
Yeah.
And let's leave some dirty jokes aside there. We won't get into that one. But what the fuck was this?
I don't know. That was such a huge pause.
Dude, I couldn't think of what
you had
the
to
fuck I
tickle
was
the back
gonna
of your
do.
throat for the
Yeah,
audition,
tickle the
man.
I could, but dude, it's Sunday morning.
And we're
That's what
drinking
happens.
beer at like 9 a.m. All right.
Anyway, here we go. I had that tickle at the back of my throat, and I thought to myself, "Oh man, should I do this fucking audition?" Each day comes and goes, and I'm testing my voice, and the voice is still working. It's being okay. And went there the day of. I woke up. I was testing it, and it felt fine. The thing about it is, and this is the thing that because when you have that audition in front of you, you want it. You want it so bad that you're not going to let anything get in your way. And sometimes I think you just got to fucking say, fuck this, I'm not 100%, I'm not doing it.
Right.
Because,
You mean cancel the audition?
yeah, just fucking can't, get another date. Get another date. Things happen.
I know
Things
what you
happen,
mean.
and but you don't want to because in your head you're like, well, if it doesn't happen now, it's never going to happen. And the thing is, I set myself up for such a bad situation because if you're not 100%, even if you're singing well that day, when you get on that stage and you're a bit nervous or something doesn't go exactly the way you want it to, your chords might not react in the exact way that you want them to.
Yeah. You know, my old teacher in college used to say, to be successful, your 80% has to be better than other people's, like 100% or some shit like that. I actually don't know if I agree with that advice anymore. I think it's too competitive these days. I think, truth be told, when you should go up to an audition, you have to fucking be solid.
Yeah, that's right.
And so if it's not so good, yeah. But anyway, that's a different podcast.
Well, look, I mean, the point being, I went to this audition and shit the bed a little bit, and that happens. It doesn't matter if you can sing really well or not. If you have to present well in those 5 or 10 minutes that you're on the stage. They asked for 3 pieces, which was nice, but you know that's it just wasn't all there on that day.
Look,
so that happens.
if you think you can be good enough that you could win every audition that comes your way, that's nobody. You need luck. Okay? Sometimes the pianists are going to fucking throw your music into the pit. All right? Sometimes you're going to get sick. It does take a little bit of luck. And so you have to separate the failures or failures is a strong word, but the things that don't go well, what could you have done better and what's out of your control?
Here's the thing though. You said failures is a strong word and I don't think it's strong enough.
Yeah.
Because here's what every single time it doesn't matter how many performances I've sung or anything like that. Every single time I've got a failure, it is soul crushing to me.
Yep.
Soul crushing.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly it's a difficult thing to deal with. I think that you learn easier to deal with nerves on stage. Standing in front of 1,000 people, after a while, if you know what you're doing, that becomes easier. That becomes a lot easier.
I agree.
And you know because you've got your technique, you know what all you're doing. That's fine. But if you go out there and you're not having a good night and you crack a big note or something like that, man, it feels like, all right, well, I'm never going to sing again. Fuck this.
Yeah, but
I'm never going to do it.
When you're on stage, those people are there to be entertained by you. You know what I mean? When you're at an audition, those people are there, at least in my mind, sometimes to judge you.
Absolutely.
When you sell out a house, they're like, "Oh, good, I love the show," and they're rooting for you. They're like, "I hope he does well."
Yeah.
Is there someone in here?
I don't think so.
No. All right.
You're gonna.
Someone could totally fucking. No, man. I'm gonna leave that in the podcast. I'm not gonna
leave
cut
it
that
in
out.
there.
So let me ask you this: Did you get any feedback from your?
Yeah.
You don't have to say what it is.
Yeah,
but
they said they said the high notes weren't all what they could be.
Yeah.
And if I had to make a criticism of my audition, that's exactly what I would say. It wasn't my day.
Because the thing is when you get feedback, I think it takes a long time, and you have to get a lot of feedback to separate what is consistent feedback about your voice or who is judging the shit out of you based on one time of hearing your voice.
Look,
because people will make very broad statements.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you need to work on this more. And it's like, no, that day I needed to work on that more, but you can't label me as that type of singer forever because of what you heard for 5 minutes on a fucking Friday morning.
My judge is, if I would have made the same criticism about my performance, I'm fine with it. I mean, you still are devastated by not getting whatever you wanted, but if you, like, I came away from that audition and thinking, oh, man, those high notes were not what they should have been. They are not what I can do. They were not what they should have been. And I hear that from them. I'm like, all right, you guys got some good ears. That's exactly what I thought, and I can accept that on that day I didn't do that correctly. We can sit here and talk about all that shit all day. It still is a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound for me.
Yeah, but I mean, just speaking generally, not about your audition, but I mean experiences I had and other people have had. I think when you come out of college, it's like, which I say that every podcast. You want to talk about things. I always talk about that transition, but that's a crucial time for people. You know what I mean? That's why I talk about it so much, because you're either going to survive it and make it into the career, or you're going to kind of give up on it. You want feedback. You want criticism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But are you texting over there?
No. I'm just putting it on airplane mode.
Oh, okay. If you ever start texting during this podcast,
I'm here. I'm here for you.
Flip this table.
I'm here
man.
for you. That's why I put it on. I don't want any.
This is a conversation.
I know,
man.
dude.
This is not a
we're in
soapback.
this together.
All right, listen.
Do you feel rejected?
I feel rejected. I want to talk about this moment my co-host at the beginning of the podcast tried to take over the show. No, but listen, you want to ask for feedback. You do, but it's dangerous, because a mistake I made early on in my career is I chased feedback from agents, because you'll come out to Germany and you can sing for agents all day, and there's no limit to how many you can have. At one point, I had like 10 or 12 agents I was working for. No joke, right? Because they'll just say, yeah, well, we'll help you. Like, there's no contract, you know what I mean? But they all give you feedback.
Yeah.
And this person was telling me, your voice is too bright. This person was telling me your voice is too dark. You sound too young. You sound too old, dramatic, lyric.
Colleague of mine,
I chased all of that.
Old colleague.
Years.
I once got a bad critique, and this colleague told me this one thing. It's the best thing I've ever heard. He said, "Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and most of them stink."
Yeah,
that is sound fucking advice.
True,
That's the crudest sound advice of all time.
As a singer, you do need to translate that criticism into what is consistent. Because there are few things I heard consistently.
Yeah, okay. That's just gleaning the good stuff out of all the shit. But really, it's the same thing when you're studying. You find somebody, and then you have to say, okay, this is the person's opinion I'm trusting now. This is the one I'm going to trust. And you can't trust everybody. There are singers where if they were to tell me something, I would nod my head, say awesome, and then just go and completely forget everything that they said because I don't necessarily trust them.
You don't have a person now, right? That you become that person alone.
I have you, Jared.
Oh, you can fuck yourself. No, but you have to translate that stuff because at one point, for instance, I was singing rep that was a bit too. It was a little bit out of my fach on the high end, right?
Yeah.
And so when you do that, you go to an audition or something, and the criticism you're going to get is your technique's fucked up. No, your rep is fucked up. You know what I mean? You can't always take criticism word for word. You have to translate, okay, what are they hearing? Yeah. Is it really my technique, or am I singing the wrong rep? Am I really singing too dark, or did I go in there singing a piece out of my fach?
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Did I go in there and sing a lyric piece dramatically, or did I try to sing a dramatic piece as a lyric singer? So you have, and that takes a lot of experience to be able to translate what someone's saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what do they really mean? And you have to know a lot about your voice, and that takes a long time. And I think some people take one person's opinion too hard, you know, or they don't listen to feedback. I don't fucking know.
Look, I mean, you're absolutely right, but can I tell you something that's a little off topic? I kind of feel like Gollum right now because this microphone is so low. I'm hunched over.
Yeah,
my back is so fucking. It's curvy.
Do you want to pause it and get something?
Oh my
to
gosh,
on?
no! My back though feels like this treble clef that we're about to draw later. We've got a competition.
Tell
for
them
you
the
guys.
truth, man. Tell them the truth. We shot a promo video before the podcast, acting like it was after the
That's
podcast.
Right. That's
all
right.
right.
Come on, people.
Because
this is theater.
By the end of the podcast, we're always red-faced from this beer,
from our breakfast.
and
beer.
I didn't want to shoot it. Look, receiving criticism and feedback is one thing, but what I want to talk about is how do you move on from failure on the stage? When you crack that note, I mean, how do you fucking get right back into character and not dwell on that?
Dude, for me that's practice. That starts all the way back when I was playing violin, and he would say, okay, start and measure, blah blah blah, and play to here, and I would do it, and if I fucked up, at first I would stop playing, and he's like, why do you stop playing? And I said, well, because I fucked up. And he said, that's not how you practice effectively, right? You practice effectively by putting on the metronome, start playing, go all the way to the end, and you have to keep going as if you're in a performance and the rest of the orchestra is going to keep going.
That's good, yeah.
And then afterwards, and only afterwards, do you say, okay, this was wrong, and you go back and you critique it. That helped me a lot on the stage.
So when you practice the metronome, and when it fucking goes by, or at a coaching, don't stop, maybe.
Yeah, look,
right?
I mean, I think it's important to just keep going and then do the criticism afterwards. And then say, all right, in this measure here, that was fucked up. In this measure here, that was fucked up. Take a couple breaths, start again. People, you see it when practicing all the time. If you teach it all, people get so antsy and I want to do that again. I want to try again. Oh, here we go. And you really got to fight against that actively. For me, that aspect of practicing translates onto the stage really well because whenever you are up there and you start thinking about what happened, you already are behind on the next thing you have to do on stage. You're already behind. So it's a matter of training yourself to always keep thinking forward, and you hear it all the time, have a short memory on the stage, and that's really
but I mean, basically what you're talking about is kind of performance anxiety. Some people have performance anxiety from the moment they step on stage to the moment they step off. But when you crack a note or something, as a professional, for a moment, you have that feeling that amateurs have when they first start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When Betsy Sue has when she steps on stage at the karaoke bar.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you have that for a moment. And you have to either choose to allow that feeling to creep in, or you have some sort of strategy for denying that feeling.
Yeah, it's not... For me, I call it performance concentration, not anxiety. Because the way you get past it is having a certain type of concentration. Anxiety, you're going to have no matter what. As long as you're thinking about shit too much, you're going to have anxiety because you could be like everybody. You could be like an auditioner in your head. Like you're sitting there and saying, all right, well, that wasn't good, that wasn't good, that wasn't good, that wasn't good. The same way somebody who's listening to you in an audition does. And that's fucked up. That helps you exactly 0%.
Yeah, but how do you, I mean, it's like.
I don't necessarily have a tip for you how you do that.
I mean, I have my strategies.
Oh,
but
give me it.
I think everybody's different. You know what I mean?
We're all the same. You're all exactly like me.
When you're so fidgety, I'm afraid you're going to rip everything off this table, man.
I'm fucking drunk from last night, and now we're drinking this beer.
Okay.
I don't know what.
Just
I don't know
hang
where I
on.
am. I can't feel my legs.
Okay. I actually yeah, it's the internal monologue. It's that same feeling you have when like you're pissed off at somebody and you shouldn't say something, but you fucking have to say it, right? You know you shouldn't say it, but you say it anyway.
It's my life.
It's the same thing on stage. You know you shouldn't think it. You know you should be singing your audition right now, but you're criticizing yourself as you're singing. And it's like you said in the last podcast, good singers do that. You have a critical ear. And criticism has to be a tool. This critical way of thinking has to be a tool that you can turn on and shut off. And that's hard because when you practice, you need to be extremely critical
That's
of
right.
your voice.
Good singers, you said good singers do that. Good singers do that at the right time. And the stage is really not the right time for it.
And the hard thing is, yeah, if you do that 90% of the time you're singing, because most of the time you're singing is practicing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the actual time you spend performing is so small compared to the amount of time you spend prepping. So that means that role you prepared, you've built in this criticism. So one good technique is what you said, I think, which I haven't really thought about, is run it. Run it with the metronome. When you practice, run through the aria.
Yeah.
Don't stop, because I'm a guy that stops and fixes the high note every time. But I two books I read that I wanna plug.
Okay.
Like 30-year-old books, you know.
Nice.
The author's dead.
He doesn't give a fuck that he's on
look,
sex, drugs, and opera.
I think it's interesting. The Inner Game of Tennis. It's actually a book for tennis players.
Oh yeah, real famous.
Yeah, and it talks about finding flow. When you're in front of people, you make a mistake, because athletes have to deal with this a lot. You're a pitcher, you're having an off night. This is the fucking World Series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Talk about pressure. Surgeons and shit like that. Other careers honestly have more pressure than we do sometimes.
There's a good clip on YouTube that has Pavarotti and Show Milnes and a bunch of people talking about stage fright and everything. And the one person they have on there is, I think, Walter Cronkite.
Okay.
Somebody, and he actually said something that was interesting. He said, concentrate on what you're doing and not how you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I thought that was pretty helpful. The other thing that's helpful for us, a tennis player is a tennis player. That person is, they are Serena Williams. They're not pretending to be somebody else. They're not pretending to do something else.
Mm-hmm.
They are just playing tennis.
I see.
That's really very, very, very difficult to do. What I think is a benefit to somebody on stage is you are purposely trying to be somebody else and do something else. If you can really concentrate on
being that other person,
inhabiting a character,
you
don't think about things you don't think about mistakes as much as you do.
That's
or
good
as
advice.
much as you can.
That's good advice.
Like you of course, by a big crack or something, you will get thrown out. If you can get yourself back into the character, the technique that you've built up in practicing will come back in.
And it's
so look at that. I do have some advice. How about that?
It's getting back into character. That's the hard thing, right? But the Inner Game of Tennis, the other book I want to say is there's a German guy who went to live in Japan, right? You know this book?
No.
I can't remember if I read it in German and English,
can't read,
because it's a short book, but I think it's called Zen and the Art of Archery.
Yeah, no, is that okay? So that's you.
That's actually
you
an
did the
interesting book.
No, you did the two famous examples of dealing with this sort of shit.
I think everyone should read those two books, because this German guy went to Japan and basically trained in archery, which they usually don't let people not from Japan do. And it was like this Zen, same stuff. That book's a bit more esoteric, though.
Yeah, no, but
tennis is real pop science.
I did not know that guy was a German. I didn't
the
know
book's
he
originally
was a
in German, I
German.
think. But something I took from both of these books that I actually implement in my performing is, of course, you don't want to label what you're doing as bad when you're on a stage, right? That's criticism. That's judgmental to be like, I did that bad. That's obvious. Everybody knows that. But what a lot of people don't realize is it's equally detrimental to label stuff as good. You know what I mean?
That's right, because
you're labeling. Labeling's your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you say, "Ooh, that was good," that's just as bad as
how
saying,
many
"I
times
fucking
have
suck."
no, honestly, I would say I fucked up more times after singing a good note and being like, and just taking a second to pat yourself on the back,
Yeah.
and now you're out.
Well,
now you're
also
out. Now you're not in that character anymore. You're gonna fuck something up.
It's
It
the
happens
same thing
all the time.
And you enter that realm of good and bad, which on stage you just need to do. You know what I mean?
Man, now you're getting deep.
And
Just
then,
do
and then
be.
as you reflect, but I mean, this is kind of a topic jump, but I just thought about this, so I want to get out there. What do you think about? Because I know some singers that will not read critiques in the newspaper, or they'll wait till after the show or something like that.
They can be devastating or awesome. It can either make your week or break your week if a critique is bad. That's critiques are like assholes. Everybody has one, and most of them stink. It's really that way. That it doesn't matter. You can know that you did a great job, and then somebody will still not like you. That's just how it is.
And something you have to know deep down is that. Have you ever heard other singers talk about fucking Pavarotti or like Jonas Kaufman, Anna Netrebko? Best singers in the world, people will shit on them. You will never be so good. Because I used to think when I was like 17 or something, I'd go to a masterclass one day, they'd be like, there's nothing I can do here.
Right.
That was like my dream.
Right.
That will never happen.
That never happens.
If I was giving Jonas Kaufman a masterclass, I would say shit to him. That sounds arrogant, but you all would too. It's the truth. I have opinions. You know
Everybody
what I mean?
has opinions.
I'd be like, hey,
about
Pav, listen, I love it, but you do a little bit of
giving the singer grunt, the tenor grunt at the end.
Yeah, I would have opinions, and that's what this is. No one's perfect. You're never a finished product.
If someone can really imbibe that, like put it in their body, that nobody will ever be over.
You will never be good enough that everyone will fucking love you.
That's right.
And the thing is you just are what you are. And often when you're rejected from an audition, the fact of the matter is you were fucking blue and they were looking for red. And I don't care how blue you are. You're never gonna be that red.
They'll never be the red they need.
You'll never be the red they need.
Man, that makes me think back. When I was in high school, I used to fucking hate Franco Corelli. I used to hate him.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, that sounds so weird. And sometimes when I hear it now, I'm like, what were you thinking, Mike?
Some of the most interesting voices are an acquired taste,
Yeah.
Like that black coffee.
Right. You need some black coffee.
I mean, you go down that road hard. I'm drinking a coffee with 3 shots of espresso in it right now.
And a Guinness.
All right. I'm from Seattle. Okay. And a Guinness.
What else you got? What else you got on your list? He's so prepared.
I make a list. I'm so afraid of dead air. Coming out here one day and just fucking
do you remember
hanging
my
brain.
pause? Do you remember my pause at the beginning of this?
That was the longest pause of my life, man.
Man, what's that joke with the bear? Bear walks into a bar, and the bartender
are you gonna tell it right, man?
I don't know. I have no idea. I suck at it. Go.
Okay, look, if you're gonna tell a joke on the podcast, which is a risky thing, tell it right.
Risky.
Hey, everybody, you ready for a joke?
Yeah,
I don't
do it.
I don't know where you listen to this
do you
podcast.
Know how to do it?
Are you? Yeah, I know how to do it.
Do
are
the
you
joke.
in the bubble bath?
Go.
Okay.
Come on.
So a polar bear walks into a bar and he says, "I'll have a gin and tonic," and the bartender says, "Why the big pause?"
Oh.
And he says, "I'm a polar bear." I have a story about that joke.
I don't know
actually.
if you need the last bit of that joke.
Listen, fuck you.
I'm a polar bear is
but
implied.
So I realized when I moved to Germany that all the jokes I know are puns and wordplay.
Yeah,
all of them.
You're a pun master.
And some
Jared
jokes,
really is.
and some jokes work in every language. Jokes that are about like the thing that happened. You know what I mean? And I told that joke in German once because I was like, pause, it's the same thing.
Right.
No, that's fucking
it's
stupid
not,
because the joke is paws of
Yeah.
the animal, which are like I think Futter or something in German. I can't remember. Sounds nothing like the word pause.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And so I told that joke in German. I was like, because I'm an ice bear, and people
Right.
just looked at me like,
What the
the
fuck
fuck
are you talking
because
about?
those words are nowhere close, man.
Dude, that was a big fail.
Yeah, so I
Big
tried
fa-
to.
How did you deal with that failure, Jared? How did you deal with it?
I think I got really, really drunk, and then I went home alone. Look, a dangerous thing. A lot of rejection. I think the reason people have trouble with this. What are you getting fucking knocked around by that Guinness?
That Guinness is fucking with me, and we still got another one.
Yeah. I'm gonna bust it out here in 4 minutes.
Okay.
The last point I want to make before we move on from this and get to our other stuff is I think a big part of rejection and failure these days is a bit more complicated than it used to be because of the comparisons people do these days. With Facebook, with Instagram, with the internet now, people are constantly comparing themselves to somebody else. And I don't have what he has, and I want that so bad what he has, and I deserve it. That it's a dangerous place to go.
The impulse was probably always there in people that you want to compare yourself to other people. But the thing is, social networks like Facebook or Instagram, they are set up so that you can see something and then basically immediately judge it, right? That you're especially Instagram, you're flipping through pictures so quickly. Or what's the dating app?
Tinder?
Yeah, Tinder. People they're just flipping. You see those videos of like they have the automatic flip things. Yeah. And it's just so you can see it for a second and flip by. To do that with art, to do that with singing is such a dangerous
and what's
thing.
Strange about it is like you will care so much what people think about something you post, but you care so little about what other people post. You have to realize that nobody gives a shit. Like
it's like this podcast, dude. We care so much about this podcast, but no one gives a
fuck. But we agreed before we did this podcast that this is for us.
That's right.
This is free art. You're not paying for this shit.
We just like to be down in the basement.
We like to come down here and get a break.
It's fucked up, dude.
A break from the warmth up there.
Right. It is cold. It doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees outside. It is nice and chilly. If there's an atomic blast, I want to be down here. We'll be fine.
Yeah, man. We were nice and toasty by that fire yesterday.
Woo.
All right. I don't know. I think we can move on. You got anything else you want to say about rejection and failure?
Yeah, I want to hear stories from people. Yeah. I want to hear stories, but not just stories. I want to hear how, because we had a lot of opinion here today, right? About, okay, this is how I deal with it. I get back in character. I try to stay in character, and then you can just move on. Or, I drink myself into an absolute stupor after a bad audition, that's a good one. We didn't mention that, but just go fucking balls deep into a bottle, right? No. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys think about it. How you guys deal with it, because Jared, we don't discuss this beforehand. I don't know if that comes over.
We try not to talk about.
We try not to talk about the stuff first, so that we can react genuinely to one another and have a real conversation on here. There were some things that Jared said that I was like, that is actually something I might be able to implement. What do you guys have?
Yeah, it's still tough.
We need the hive mind on this one, people.
But it's like, because Mike and I don't pretend to know shit about this. We are very, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but like average, typical opera singers.
That's right.
We are middle of the road opera singers. We are not doing big, huge things. We're also not doing nothing. We're just in the middle. And we have a lot of opinions and experiences, but God, I would love, if someone on a different tier, or like Mike and I are both like American, if there was someone from a different country. I'd love to hear some women. What do you think about this? I can't bring that aspect to this.
Yeah, maybe there's something different there.
I would love to hear that stuff. So if you write an email, and we can talk about it anonymously, just say, don't say my fucking name. But I was at an audition once, and we went out for a little drinks afterwards, and things got a bit.
Right.
Tell the story, man.
Remember,
this is sex, drugs, and opera.
Drugs, and opera.
And so far, this has been beer and opera, which is maybe what we should have called this podcast.
What is that's not a bad name either. We're not changing it now, though. We've got.
You know how much I paid for these logos?
Right.
All right, look, I'm busting out my beer. You ready for this shit?
All right. Okay.
Have you finished your Guinness?
Kinda.
Man, I'm buzzing a bit from this.
Dude, I know. This is going to be hard.
I was in Switzerland. If you're ever in Switzerland, in every train station there that I've been, I was like in 4 different cities, and every train station has this, it's called Drinks of the World, and they got beer from fucking everywhere, right? It's incredible. But I wanted to bring you back a Swiss beer.
Sweet.
Because I was in Switzerland, and I just realized I don't know how we're going to open these because I don't have my keys.
Do you have a... No, I can open it. Yeah, I'll go get something, then you just keep talking, yeah? Keep talking, dude.
Oh God. Okay. So I don't know if be fast though, man. I can't fucking vamp. Man. So I was in Switzerland, and it's expensive as shit out there. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to Switzerland, but every city in Switzerland that I was in has like these Greek fountains, right? Roman fountains. And I saw people drinking from the water, not the standing water, but the water coming out. And I thought it was fucking disgusting. But no, in Switzerland, they filter that water so you can drink from it like a water fountain, man. It's incredible. And the other thing about Switzerland you need to know is that it is expensive as shit. I got a Big Mac meal in Zurich, and I think it was 20 euros
Jesus
for the
Christ.
Big Mac, Coke, and fries.
Jesus
You're gonna open it with fire starter?
All you need
All
is
right,
a
look,
bottle.
shut the fuck up. So this beer is a
Thanks for the question, and then stick around for the answer.
So Swiss beer. Look at this one. It's called the Porn Star.
Nice.
Right?
It's right up my alley.
Here, there's a quote on the back. Why don't you look at the quote there?
Linda Lovelace. Hey, there you go.
Get it? It's a porn star quote.
Right?
All right.
I'm not as dense as you might
I like
think.
this beer because they actually print on the bottle instead of a label.
That's right.
You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that too.
I like that. Here, open these up, man. I want to see what this tastes like. This is Porn Star IPA. Hoppypeople.com. Oh, God.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. This is from somewhere in Switzerland. Here, open mine, too.
What percentage is this? Did you
No,
fuck me
Mike,
again?
Mike put the kibosh on the 10%,
No, we
which
can
I
do it.
agree
You
with.
just- not in the morning.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I got a whole day today. You know, I got shit to do. Look, okay, we're doing our Hollywood casting now. Oh shit. Okay, here comes the song.
Let's hear it. Jared.
Hollywood casting.
Jared, knocking it out of the park with
You
the
like-
theme
you
songs
like
here.
that shit. We're into the Hollywood casting. Look, this is the last one we're gonna do for a while. We don't want this to get played out, so we're gonna bring it back. I know a lot of you like it. This week we're doing La Boheme, which was Mike's choice.
But listen, hey,
What?
I want to talk to no one out there.
The
You
no one
didn't-
girl.
You didn't write back.
Yeah, we're still waiting on you, no one.
We're still waiting on your casting.
I don't
from
think
last
she's
week.
listening to the podcast.
Yeah, but well then fucking don't write now. I don't care. Write it. All right, we got La Boheme this time.
All right,
you wanna
summary.
You want to?
I'll give a quick summary for you. We've both done La Boheme, right? You did.
Yeah.
I saw Mike do this in somewhere. I'm not gonna say where. And he comes out on stage talking to me on the cell phone. You remember that shit?
Oh yeah, that's
You were
right.
like, "What the fuck?" Yes, good times, good times. All
Because
right.
I do, I'm a tenor, but when I do it, I don't like to sing Parpagnon because it's so fucking stupid.
Well, you weren't doing Parpagnon. You were doing Benoit and
Alcindoro.
Yeah.
Because Alcindoro can be cast with a character tenor if the character tenor has a good low, and I've got the resonance for it.
He's trying for that resonance.
I don't need to try.
All
I
right,
got it.
All right, shut the fuck up. All right, so La Boheme. You should know this opera. If you don't, here it goes. Opera starts this Christmas Eve, and there's 4 Bohemians. All right, Rodolfo, Marcello, Chenard, and Colline. Right, they're in an apartment, cold as fuck.
Cold as fuck.
Cold
like
as
right
fuck.
now.
And then they do a bunch of fucking artistic shit, poetic shit. One guy burns his drama, right? The writer burns his drama. The philosopher tries to sell his fucking philosophy books. Sad, sad shit. Musician Chenard busts in, right? Got a bunch of money from a sweet gig. Parrot fucking died, okay? Read up on it if
Thank
you want to
God.
know. Teehee, funny shit. So they're all fucking merry as shit. Landlord comes in, give me the money. In comic fashion, they kick him out of the apartment. Benoit, that's the landlord, right?
Yeah.
Benoit balls. For anyone
Dude, you're
watching
giving
on.
some detail here.
No,
Come
no,
on.
no. It's a huge opera, dude. I'm going as fast as I can. So then they're going to go out and they're going to party, okay? So then they all leave, and Rodolfo has to write an article for The Beaver, right?
That's right.
You remember that shit?
Yeah.
The Beaver. Mimi comes in because she lost her key, and she needs Rodolfo to light her candle.
Typical.
You understand? She needs him to
That is the-
reignite the flame that's
Sure,
gone out in
she
her life.
lost
If you don't get that fucking analogy shit, okay? So he gets the key. Now they're in love. They go off. They scream the high C if you got the balls for it, okay? Act 2 is not fucking important. It's a fun one. They're partying at the cafe. Musetta comes in. She's Marcello's old love interest. She's with an old guy with money, okay? They flirt, leaves the old guy. They spend all their money.
Sticks him with the bill.
They stick the old guy with the bill. Ha, 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 curtain down. You're feeling good, right?
Right, feeling real
Everything's
good.
good in Boheme. You go out to the pausa, you have a glass of wine, and you say, wow, I feel good. Come back.
Man, love is great, isn't it? Love is great.
Act 3, man. Act 3 happened. Time has passed, and shit is not as happy as it was at the intermission, all right? Mimi's sick, and she's looking for Rodolfo because he ran out on her in a fit of jealous rage, all right? Finds Marcello, tells him everything, and he explains that Rodolfo's inside. Rodolfo comes outside. Mimi hides, usually behind a tree, okay? And Rodolfo is talking. Look, man, you have to explain. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Anyway,
So Marcello tells her, no, Rodolfo then tells Marcello, look, I have to leave her, man. I told her I was jealous, but she's getting sick, and I don't have enough money. If I can push her away, maybe she'll find a rich man that can heal her disease. That's sad as shit,
it's fucking
man.
sad, but it's
So
also
she comes out from behind the tree, and she says, no, I love you. I fucking love you. And so they decide to stay together until spring, when no one can feel alone in spring. Okay? Act 4 happens. You got the boys, okay? Some hardcore grab asses like going on, horseplay. You feel good. You feel good. What happens? Musetta busts in. Best orchestral hit ever from Puccini. You remember that?
That's right. That's good.
Boom! Right? It's fucking amazing. Mimi comes in. She's super sick and needs help. Everybody leaves. Rodolfo, they love her. She goes to sleep. Hey, man, maybe she's going to be okay. No. Then Chenard finds her dead. Saddest moment in opera. If you don't fucking cry at the end of Boheme,
honestly,
you're
that's
a dick.
Because
then Rodolfo and Pavarotti, man, does it the best. He says, why is everybody running around? Then she's dead.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
he doesn't do it the best.
Oh, okay, he doesn't do it the best.
He
does it good. And then he goes and he gives it that
bass
fucking
baritone is trying to tell me who does it the best.
All right, fuck.
Listen, no joke. Listen, there's a live recording of Franco Corelli doing it, right? And he says, "Qual andare vedere?
Nah, man.
He goes from the A and just goes into this weeping. Oh, he's
some
the
of it.
best.
So if you can pull it off, but also the Marcellos get too ballsy with the coraggio. You know what I mean? You're not the star of that scene, Marcello. All right. Coraggio! Just do it and get out. But some of these Marcellos I've heard, man.
No, the thing is, they do it because they try to get over the orchestra there. The orchestra's
It doesn't matter. We don't need it.
And they can't fucking yell over that shit.
All right, listen. All right, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
By the way, we got a note that this segment is too long.
Yeah,
so
we're flying through, but Boheme's a hard one to summarize.
Dude, I lost last week, by the way.
Yeah, 29 to like 23 or some shit like that. That puts me up 2-0.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, because I gave you the
But
first
I'm not
one.
even going to put it to a vote. You won the treble clef. I swear to God. I was going to put it to a vote. But that gives you 1 point.
Yeah, but okay, let's see what everybody else does. Fine,
right.
that gives me.
Well, we got to find him. We threw him on the ground. We can vote on the treble clef, but I'm gonna get destroyed.
I'm gonna get destroyed in this one, I think.
Okay.
Boheme.
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
so
let's
I'm just gonna sock it. Yeah.
Is this mine or is this yours?
That's yours.
Okay.
I went classic love pair. Classic love pair for the first one: Rodolfo, Tom Hanks, Mimi, Meg Ryan. Sleepless in Seattle, baby.
You went with an older cast than I did. That's good.
Well, not always.
I went real young.
Marcello and Musetta are. I love this guy. No one ever casts him. Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
And Jennifer Lawrence for Marcello and Musetta.
That's good. Michael Fassbender, though. I know the name. I should know who that is.
You do. You know him from Inglourious Bastards. The British guy.
Yeah. Okay, of course.
The guy who did the 3 fingers wrong, and then
yeah. Nah, that's good.
Chenard and Colina are another pair from a movie. Edward Norton and Brad Pitt.
I actually thought about doing Edward Norton for Marcello.
Me too.
Okay.
No. I thought of him for Rodolfo. I couldn't pull the trigger on that one. And then Alcindoro Benoit. I think I got a really good one for this one. Oh, wait a minute.
Would you not do it?
I have Danny DeVito. But that's actually not who I was thinking first.
That's good, though. I think that's good. I would have done that one had I thought about it. That's a good one.
Wait a minute. Who am I thinking of, though? The other. Well, first you go to yours, and then I might change mine. How about that?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Okay,
man.
go.
Look, hey, we don't have to rush so much, all right? We
Well,
just got to pick it up a bit. You went older with the Rodolfo and Mimi.
Classic love pair. Maybe the best Hollywood love pair ever.
But you see this in opera. You know, it's like you're either going to do an old Boheme, which still works,
right,
or you're going to do a young Boheme, which also works. Also, what's funny about the casting is I found.
But imagine them. No, wait. Imagine them from Sleepless in Seattle days.
Dude,
We're not
it's
stuck
a good
with
one.
Tom Hanks now.
You might win it this week, but also with this, I found I couldn't cast people because of their voice. Because it's true, the lover can't have a certain voice, even in speaking.
That's why
really
Edward Norton for me somehow didn't work for Rodolfo.
Yeah, I mean, and for like Colline, I thought there were people that were great, but it's like that
You're
character.
thinking bass.
Well, it has to be.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, even in, but it's funny because the villain has to sound a certain way, even in spoken stuff. It's like that's why you have baritones and basses cast as villains, because that's how it is in the real world.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because we're all fucking.
Anyway,
bad.
let's hear.
All right, look, Rodolfo, the Goss, Ryan Gosling, baby.
Okay.
Ryan fucking Gosling. I went young with it.
You're going La La Land.
Yeah, but I didn't do what you think. All right, Amy Adams.
I like me some Amy Adams.
Not to be confused with Rachel McAdams or whatever
Right,
her name
right,
is,
right.
who he was paired with in the Notebook. This is Amy Adams. All
Who
right.
did Doubt and what else was she?
I don't know, man, but that's Mimi. So I went young with it.
Okay.
And actually, I'm looking at my list now. I did do Edward Norton for Marcello.
See, there you
Yeah,
go.
I kept him because they're a good pair. They're the same size.
right, who's-
That's another interesting thing is I thought the size is important. You can't have a huge Marcello. Like they have to look somehow in my mind they
Right.
have to be similar builds, you know? And they all look fucking poor and malnourished, so it's good. Musetta, I did Amanda Seyfried.
Who the fuck? Oh, wait a minute.
Who is that?
I don't, dude. It's your casting, not mine.
Oh my god. We have to look
that's
it up.
pathetic.
No, I write. I don't know about you guys out there,
Oh
but
no,
I'm,
I know who she is. She's got like, not squinty eyes, or like her eyes are very distinctive. I know who it is. I know who she is. Yeah. See?
Yeah, this
her eyes
girl.
are very distinctive.
Yeah. Okay. That from Musetta.
Okay,
Because here's
whatever.
the thing about Musetta is Musetta has to be a high voice, and there's a trend in Hollywood that like people like Emma Stone, Jennifer Lawrence, Mila Kunis, they all have low voices, which is fine.
That's sort of growly.
Yeah.
voice.
And there's a lot of roles for that, but Musetta has to be like bubbly.
Yeah.
And there's actually not such a trend with that at the moment in Hollywood. So that was
Right.
kind of a hard one to find. But that's who I did through Musetta. I like her, man.
Okay.
Shenard,
as you
man,
like
I took Seth Rogen for Shenard.
Okay.
You know, he busts in with the party and
Yeah,
shit.
it's fine.
Colleen, I did. You're gonna like these two. Okay, you're gonna be jealous. I did Ben Stiller for Colleen. All right. Okay.
I like it.
Ben Stiller for Colleen.
But you had to fight against the bass thing. He's not bassy at all.
Yeah. But Colleen has to be funny, but he's the serious funny guy. To me, Shenard was the goofy fucker, but Colleen, he
know
sells
who-
his jacket. He has to sing the
You
coat
know who
aria.
else would have worked well for that? If you want serious but funny,
Who?
is oh god, why can't I remember his name? Jim Carrey.
I thought about him, but he
Great.
was too old for the rest of the cast.
Yeah,
He
I
would
know,
have been
but
great with yours.
Don't you understand this? You can cast them in a certain age of the
Ah,
actor. You don't
I
have to
don't
go
wanna do
how
that.
they are today.
I don't want to do that.
Like my Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan are specifically older, Sleepless in
Yeah,
Seattle.
but Mike, you're more artistic than I am. I'm
that's
more
true.
like let's sell some tickets. Okay, people don't have the imagination
That's
to
why
imagine
you
Tom
win
Hanks.
every week.
They imagine what? Yeah,
That's why you win.
All right,
My cast might be better, but people
you ready
latch
for this?
onto
All
yours.
right. Okay, so Colleen, Ben Stiller, Benoit, and Alcindoro. I did Jerry Stiller.
Good.
You like that?
That I cannot
Like from
disagree
Seinfeld. You know
with
what I
at
mean?
all.
That was good.
Wait, let me tell you my other one though, because actually, I have to say this because I didn't mean to write Danny DeVito. I thought of this guy and then
Okay.
put Danny DeVito's name. Joe Pesci, who I was thinking of
Joe
first.
Pesci.
But I actually think I like Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
better.
stay with Danny DeVito.
I'm
I think
staying
you got
with
more
Danny
chances
DeVito.
with that.
But Joe Pesci, oof, that's a good one, dude. Joe Pesci's amazing.
Little time for just the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip, love.
Knocking it out of the park. Right out of the
Oh man, it's a little okay. What do you think of the porn star beer, man?
It's good. It's good.
My heart's racing, man. This is a weird podcast,
I
dude.
know, dude.
We were up drinking all night. All right. Okay.
Hopefully it's enjoyable for you guys.
If not, fuck them. It's
Then
free.
fuck you.
You didn't pay for this shit.
Shut it off if you don't like it. We don't give a fuck.
What else are you gonna do on your lonely bus ride, huh?
Yeah. All right, here. What do we got this week?
All right. So, Mike, this is the one that is not up your alley, which is why I chose it.
Whoa, okay.
Just the tip. Okay. They actually wrote a lot, so I kind of reduced it to the question because we don't got all day. I'm an opera singer, and I'm going to karaoke night with some friends. What are some good opera-style songs to sing at karaoke?
None.
Thoughts? Get close to the mic, man.
What
This,
are you-
get-
Opera-style songs.
yeah, I wanted to talk about this, man. I wanted to
Opera-style
jam on
songs
this.
to sing at karaoke. This is the contraceptive meme you put out the other day.
Look, you do not sing operatically at a karaoke bar. That
You can if you want, I guess, but man, you're taking a risk, and I don't think it's advisable.
look, and the reason you're asking this question is because you can't fucking sing pop music, which
That's right.
which most of
That's
us can't.
okay. I
can't
can't.
either. So I got a counter tip for you. Okay, here's the counter tip in just the tip. All right, if you're a man, sing a song by a woman at a karaoke bar.
Okay.
Because women's it goes up to maybe a C5, D5. Pop that shit down an octave. You're not gonna need to belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can croon that shit. Love me, say that you love me. Just fucking get down low. Don't fuck. If you sing Billy Joel, I don't care if you're a tenor. You're gonna fuck shit up there. And if you're a woman, sing something by a man.
Yeah.
It's also gonna be in the right part of your voice.
Sound advice. Look, the other thing is, go with maybe. If I have to answer this question, I like the question, but it's just I don't know if you should do that. If you're gonna do it, Tony Bennett and that sort of older stuff is more like it's stylistically something that'll fit you, but come on, don't get up there and sing it like an opera singer.
And I have done that before. I have to admit. I was in a dive bar in South Seattle once, and I sang Josh Groban, right? Full-out opera, and people loved it. You got to feel the room because you can do it and you can nail it. But if there's one other opera singer in that room, you know, I mean, don't fucking do it. And that's risky.
And there
are I've had it bomb more than it's gone well.
There are
don't
definitely
going to
be people. There are definitely going to be people in that. Look at that.
Yeah, people yell at you.
Shit.
Like, okay,
go home.
And the thing is your mindset is you got to go up there and sing well because people are like, you're an opera singer. Get up there, man. You're an opera singer. But show your entertainment ability because that will bleed through in every situation. Don't show your vocal ability. Get up there, go funny, and switch genders. Okay,
that's right.
If I had to sing karaoke right now, I would go "Chandelier" by Sia. All right, you're gonna get some laughs, and that song does not go above like a D or something, so I don't have to belt.
Man, what the fuck would I even think of singing? I have no idea, dude. I don't know any words.
I would go easy. I do Cher. You know, do something where people are gonna laugh at the song, and then you get entertained.
What do you mean, Cher? Like, let's put your little hand in mine. That's the only part I know from Groundhog
No, like
Day.
No
That's
Doubt
it.
or something like that, you know?
No
Like,
Doubt.
Don't speak. Just keep it low.
That's a good song.
Yeah,
that takes me
like
back to fumbling around trying to get a girl's bra open in my when you're just discovering
your fucking
yourself.
Chevy Tahoe. Whatever.
No, dude, we had this old Nissan truck. My grandfather had this Nissan truck. Didn't have power steering. Didn't have anything, dude. And we just beat the shit out of that truck. Oh man, sometimes I look back on high school and I think
those are good days, man.
Times.
Those are good days.
That was fun times.
Look, when in college, I used to live across from a wing. This porn star beer is getting me, man.
Yeah.
I used to live across from a wing place that had a jukebox, which is kind of like karaoke. I don't know. That was linked to iTunes, so anything that was on iTunes, you could play on this jukebox.
Yeah.
And me and my roommate, who was also a singer back then, used to go there at least 3 times a week, get drunk. Around 12 or 1, we would always go to the jukebox and put on Bryn Terfel singing The Vagabond.
Oh, good.
3 times in a row, right? And people's reactions, because if you're talking about singing opera at karaoke, you're saying, how would normal people react to opera? And it was 50-50. Some nights we put that on, people would fucking like sing along. They didn't know the words, but they'd be like they would sing along. And then, but I would say 7 or 8 out of 10 times, realistically, people would be like, what the fuck is this shit?
Honestly, it's not like a big bombastic song most of the time. It's
you know
the
boom,
boom, boom, boom,
boom,
boom. You want to do it? We should record that. I'll just go boom underneath you.
Look, man, I think we're gonna get exactly an hour on this podcast.
Well, then we need to fill a little under 2 minutes here. What are we going to talk about?
I don't know, man.
Yes,
I think
I
that's
like
it.
this.
We did just
We're
the
just
tip.
spitballing here.
Look,
what do you want to do?
We also.
Oh no, I'll talk about something real quick. Maybe we go over an hour. Listen, I'm gonna rant. You ready for a rant? God damn it! It pisses me off again.
Man, just get on the mic, man.
I was listening to public radio again, right? And some theater around here was doing a piece that was just recently rediscovered. Apparently, the composer was really popular in his time, and God damn it, they were describing this thing and they didn't even mention what the story was about. They didn't tell you, oh, well, okay, this is a drama like this or anything like that. They just talked about, well, dramaturgisch.
Yeah.
How do you say, like, from the, in English?
Dramatic aspect of things.
The dramatic aspect of things. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, you can really uncover a lot in this piece and blah, 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 blah. It's just describing it vaguely without even telling you what the story's about. Why the fuck do they think people that will entice people to go there?
I don't know, man, because like this
Why?
day, like these director talks and shit
Right.
are
They're
so,
just trying to sound intelligent.
yeah.
They're just trying to sound like, oh my God, it's like so academic the way they go
Dude,
about it. It
I
pissed
mean-
me off. I'm like, I don't want to go support you now. I want you to tell me, look, this piece is gonna move you, or
Yeah.
this piece is like this, and holy shit, you should see this character. Oh man, this piece of music is awesome. Nothing at all like
look,
that.
man, so little.
Oh, I got pissed about it.
Yeah, so little of opera this day is about the actual piece and entertaining. It's about stroking egos.
Right.
If you don't, you know what I mean? That's and the higher up you go in the business, the more it's about. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day. You get high enough where people aren't allowed to criticize you anymore.
Right.
I've sung with some big people before, and they will go in there, music not learned, fucking shit up,
Yeah.
and you can't be like, hey, why the fuck didn't you prepare?
Yeah.
You have to be like, oh, thank you for blessing us with your shitty rehearsal etiquette. Look, man, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I was mad.
All right? And you successfully got us to an hour.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right.
Look, we're trying to come up with a segment idea to replace the Hollywood casting for a little while. We'll bring it back. All right? If you got an idea, man, send it in.
Send it in.
We can only be so creative, and shit's getting busy for us. Look, that's it.
That's
all right?
it for Sex, Drugs, and Opera this week. Thank you very much.
We'll see you in a couple weeks. Go on Instagram and do our best clef ever challenge. Okay, you can win a chance at that sweet, sweet fucking coffee mug.
Which we didn't mention yet, but you'll see it in the video.
Yeah, you'll
See
do it in the mug.
vidya.
Sweet fucking mug. Draw yourself a treble clef. Tag us. # best clef ever. I will personally pack and send this mug to you.
We'll each write a little note, a little love note to you.
And it was not a bulk purchase, so it was not cheap. All right, it's a
Right.
good prize.
It's a good prize.
All right, fuck it. See you later.
See ya.